Welcome to Modern Spiritualists, and I'm double talking. Why am I double talking?
I'm double popping as well.
Let's close this.
Don't know why. Hang on, let's have a look. We had this issue last week as well.
We did. I know why. I'm not in your earbud.
My earbuds have disconnected. Oh, it's going to be one of them nights.
Right. We're in retrograde for a minute.
They're just connecting. Right, they're connected. So.
Okay. Nope, they didn't.
You're talking away in my ears.
Awesome. Hello, Dark Huntress. How are you? Welcome to Modern Spiritualists Live. I'm Aeson, Master Psychic, Teacher, Instructor, Reiki Master, and I don't know, I got a whole freaking 2 pages of something. You can go read it on my profile all over at Modern Spiritual. And of course, with me tonight is the lovely British Psychic, Hazel Firefly. How are you, darling?
Well, if we got any ladies in the comments, I got an apology. I put a hair mask on, forgot it was Monday, so I haven't been able to wash it off. So my hair's a mess because it's full of my hair mask.
That's fine. You know, it's kind of like when you text me and I'm at the gym and it's like crap. Anyhow. So tonight we're talking about the tough stuff, the stuff you don't hear psychics talk about, the things that you psychics hate talking about, and the stuff we thought we would be talking about, but we don't.
That is so true. So true.
You know, so I took the, because, me, I need a bunch of paperwork to look pretty on my wall, and I don't know, I had student loan money and personal finance money. Oh, thank you for tuning into us, your other guilty pleasure show. So I took the Psychic Master's class, got a master's in metaphysics, and I thought, if I ever do readings, I'll be discussing life paths and soul contracts and karmic collection and purpose of being on this planet. That's not what I get to talk about all day. No. What about you? What did you think you were going to talk about?
This is going to sound strange, but I thought there would be more topics. There seems to be 3 topics that are constantly coming through.
Okay. What 3 topics are you constantly getting?
Love, money, and financial help.
Yeah.
It's hard because I just feel I repeat rather than the reading I'm given, I feel like I've given a few days ago to somebody else, if that makes sense.
It does, but it's, and I've even hold up, I've read this. Let me reshuffle. And it's the same message, just put a different way. And I'm like, okay. So, what we're really doing here is you're on the same path as this other one.
Yes.
What gets me sometimes, and I just have to catch myself because I want to literally look at this person and go, why are you dating the same person again?
Yeah.
He just got you out of a stupid relationship.
Or when a client thinks they're clever and changes their name and comes to us.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, we're not dull. We know you've changed your name.
Uh-huh.
And then they ask the same question with the same names and the same date of birth.
Mm-hmm.
As if they're trying to catch us out.
Well, I think they don't like the message. And that's something that people, I won't say people, let me rephrase that. Clients don't like if he's a jughead, he's a jughead. You're going to just have to either figure out if you want him or not.
Yeah.
And if you don't, then finish your karmic debt and move on. Please.
Yes.
it's like there are customers, and I feel for them, but they come every day waiting for a new reading.
And they're reading, nothing is going to have changed overnight.
Nothing will change until they do the action that you ask them to do.
Yeah.
Like, we don't say, go and, focus on yourself and journal out why you really want this relationship. Because it fills up the keywords.
Yes. Yeah, definitely. Definitely. My other one, lottery numbers.
Oh. Okay, let me put this very frank. If we had lottery numbers, or we could get lottery numbers for anyone, we would have already done that. We would have already hit that $1 billion lottery and would be running our own networks, or
Definitely.
setting on the beach in Jamaica.
Definitely. Definitely. This is going to sound strange. When somebody says to me, how true are your readings? Are they 90%, 99%? My answer always is, go and check my feedback.
Right.
Because not everything is going to be completely right all the time.
Well, see, I have a bit on that, and this is my bit. And this is also why, we get flanked a lot on this, but I'm going to say it anyhow. If, and I don't do names, but if I get a name, like I get the name Richard, okay, and I say, you're going to be dating Richard, and you come back 6 months later and get mad at me and lose your composure because his name is Dick, go talk to his mother.
Yeah.
Don't be yelling at me.
No. The other one, I really lose my rag with. When am I going to find a new job? Are you actively looking for a job? No. You're not going to get a new job then. You're going to look for a job to get a job.
Well, that's debatable, because we both have been headhunted before.
Yeah.
Heck, I've got someone chasing after me now. But here's the thing, that doesn't happen often.
No.
In
No.
It does, however, happen, but you've got to be willing to be open to a new job. You've got to step out there and put your name out there. You've got to have some PR available. You've got to have a resume. If you're working at McDonald's, the manager from Burger King is not going to walk in and go, you look like a good worker. Come work for me and I'll pay you $1 more.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's so annoying on times when then they come back and say, well, I didn't get the job. Well, do you expect the job to come to you, to fall in your lap? Did you expect the job to knock on your door and say, do you want to come and work for me?
Or, and this is what people do not get. And I've laid it out to clients before, and I'll lay it out here. I could say in 3 days, you're going to get a phone call from this person, this job, this whatever. Answer the call and tell them yes. Then, you A, turn your phone off.
Yeah.
Or B, don't answer the phone. Or C, tell them no. Then come back and whine at me because you didn't get the job.
And that's the infuriating bit. The other one is underage clients.
Now let's go into this in detail. And this is because this is not something that's made very clear, but I think should be made a lot more clearer. Is if you are underage, you should not be getting readings at all. Here's why. One, that can cost me a lot more than the $1.99 you paid for a reading.
Yeah.
In the US, it's $5,000 fine. Plus, the networks are going to Pappas.
Yeah. And did you know if we are caught giving readings to underage clients, also the website can be taken down?
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's a worrying thing.
Well, it is because it's not just us that have ethics. You know, it's, the networks, it's the credit card companies, because they all, apparently, a 13-year-old can have a credit card linked to their Google or
Yeah.
whatever.
But
But, it isn't,
on Fortunica, they can have readings from the age of 14.
again, but it depends on the country they're in.
I didn't know that because we've always been told if a client comes through, it's either 13 or 14, so I'm going to go 14.
Mm-hmm.
If a client comes in at 14, we have to answer them.
No, I don't.
I've got issues with that because at 14, they're still babies in my eyes.
Well, here's my facts. There's nothing I can tell a 14-year-old other than do your homework, be nice to your parents, and get a job.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay? But no, I have turned them down, and I will turn them down. And if they have an
Yes,
issue, I will happily let the FCC debate that with them.
yes, yes. I remember I had a 14-year-old ask me, and I come off the line and I cried when her first sexual encounter would be.
Not my department.
I said, you need to grow. And you've got to say it in such a nice way because they're children and anything could happen.
Right.
And he was like, you need to grow. You need to find yourself. You're
Right.
still young. You have the whole of your life in front of you to think about things like that.
Right.
And it's so soul destroying to know that babies, as I refer to them, they can still think like that.
Well, they're growing up so much. I mean, our 14s are way different than the 14-year-olds we have now.
Yeah, yeah,
Way different. And I get that. But, I am in the state of West Virginia. My business is an adult business,
yeah,
18 or above.
yeah.
I'm not putting my license up for any network.
Now, in the UK, this is where things differ. In the
Uh-huh.
UK, because it's an app,
Right.
we can answer it. But we can't on an actual website
Mm-hmm.
because there's different legislation from.
Right. But, they want to take on the state of West Virginia, they can pay the 5,000. They can pay the lawyers.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, they can do that. That's not my department.
No, no.
No, and I'll turn them in every time. Underage, 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 underage,
Yeah.
underage, underage.
Can I just stop you a minute?
Sure.
I'm not ignoring any of the comments at the moment. I got my mouse on charge.
Ah, cool.
So I can't do anything while that's on charge.
Oh, you must have been doing mediumship readings again.
Yeah.
All right. So another thing psychics don't talk about is all the freaking insanity bullcrap that goes on with us. We drain batteries. Anything battery operated in my house, Joe has to replace, or the
Yeah.
invisible assistant has to replace the batteries. Why? Because I will drain them.
And I don't know about you, but one big thing with me is washing machines.
Okay, what have you done to your washing machine?
About every 18 months, I have to get a new washing machine.
I thought that was just like the planned obsolescence they've designed into them.
Well, before I started doing this job professionally, my
Mm-hmm.
washing machines would last me about 10 years.
Uh-huh.
Now I'm lucky if they last me 18 months. My cooker, every
Uh-huh.
2 years I have to replace anything electrical.
True. I just thought it was planned obsolescence, or buying cheap machines. Granted, I buy Whirlpool, so it can't be that cheap. But no, that was my thoughts on it. If you're now telling me it's me, then maybe the stove will actually last more than 2 years.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy. And light bulbs. Oh my God.
Since I don't have to touch the light switch anymore because we have the small bulbs, they've done much better.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. That tends to work really well for us. The other thing is the freaking dust. Oh my God. Like, I, used to, I have now moved to 2 offices, one for in here and one for in there.
Dust. Oh, where are we? 2
Oh
days
my,
dust, that is.
yeah.
I give up dusting every day.
I can shovel it. If I
It's
don't dust,
crazy.
if I don't dust every day, I need to shovel it.
And I don't think people realize hunger. This job makes you hungry constantly because you're using energy constantly.
Very much so. I've always said I produce enough energy that, me and a construction worker could have the same diet. Although I'm trying to lose weight, so I've been like really booking down. But it does. When I'm working long shifts, it does. When I'm working, I have more trouble in person. Like when I'm doing face to face in person, the energy that comes out is so much more.
Yeah.
I just did an event this weekend. Loved the event. Got to see a lot of people. It was real joy. I came back Sunday and I was useless. I'm like, I can't think. I can't read. I'm going to the river. And I'm still recovering.
If I do a lot of readings in one day on platforms, I can sleep for up to 15 hours afterwards. Easy.
Easy.
It's crazy.
It's interesting because, basically we normally are in a desk chair. We're normally on camera or we have the phone in our hand or something. However, it amazes me at times the amount of calories we can go through in a day.
Yeah. Yeah. And even eating healthy don't help.
No.
Because I suppose as well, because we sat down all the time, that don't help. But then we've got to be sat down to work, so it's weird.
Right.
I don't know how you feel about this one. When a client says, "Are you telling me the truth?"
Right.
I hate that so much.
Right.
Because if I don't tell the client what I'm told, that's where my guide blocks me.
Well, Michael doesn't block me. He gives me a damn headache from hell. And I'm like, sorry. The $2, the $3, you're not worth an 8 hour. I'm not going to sugarcoat for you. If you're dating a Duke, I'm telling you, you're dating a Duke. If you're dating garbage, I'm going to tell you, you're dating garbage.
It's crazy. Absolutely is. Trying to. Where's my list? The other thing that really gets to me is when a client have just got tunnel vision on their feelings, not anybody else's. Does that make sense?
It does. Like they're only concerned about themselves.
I'm laughing because you've got a flashing light above your shoulder.
I have a flashing light.
Is that your screen reflecting on windows behind you? Right, turn around slightly. And in between the two, that's it. Is that your screen?
That's the foil on the compound board.
It's flashing.
Yep.
I thought that was very relevant for how the subject we're doing.
Yeah. It gets interesting. It really does. Clients will get, and that's why I deal with questions.
Yeah,
Because, do you really care that in 5 years this job you have doesn't matter?
yeah, yeah. And the amount of times I get asked is, what do other people think of me?
No one cares.
And it's like, don't worry about that, because they have no involvement in your life. So why are you worried?
A lot of times because they think that it matters in the end, and it's like, no, most of these people around you in 5 years isn't going to be around you. Here
Yes.
recently, well, actually today, I went through what I call backup hell. And this is where I've got like pictures and everything backed up and backed up and backed up and backed up because one program backs up and another program backs up.
Yeah.
And I ran across pictures from 2007. None of the people in those pictures are still in my life.
Yeah. It's crazy, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. And it's like, okay, so why were these pictures so important then?
The other thing, when a client comes to me and they're seeing somebody else, which is fine, no issues.
Mm-hmm.
But when they start delving into the other person's marriage, I'm like, I'm sorry, but that's bringing a third party in that haven't given your permission.
Right. However, see, I have an opposite view on that. And here's the opposite view. If it affects their relationship, then they need to know about it. Here's an example. If you get divorced in this state, your lawyer, if he's worth your salt and gold, will tell your mistress, you ain't talking to him until this divorce is over. Do you know how many men suck at passing that message along?
Probably the majority of them.
Yeah, they just go quiet. The mistress is wanting them to divorce, has been wanting them to divorce, but they go quiet and just go, I can't talk to you right now. I can't be around you right now. And it's like, bloody tell them why.
Yeah.
Like, look, I'm trying to get divorced here. The only way to get divorced here and to make it so that I can walk out with at least what I've worked for and not get you sued, because in this state, you can sue the mistress, is for me to go quiet.
Yeah.
I'm not going to talk to you. The divorce is in 30 days.
See, that's where we are different over here.
Mm-hmm.
Can you do legal separation over there?
We can do legal separation, but most people don't.
See, over here, it's legal separation for 2 years, then you can get a divorce.
Mm-hmm.
Or you can get a divorce if both parties agree to it.
Right.
But over here, when they part, they're seen as split up. So
Uh-huh.
legally, they're separated.
Right.
And so the other party don't come into it once they've separated, if that makes sense.
Right. That makes total sense. That's not how it is here, unfortunately. Unfortunately, here they can still sue you for being the mistress, and I believe it's like a destruction of affair. Um, Basically, it is you can sue the mistress for basically taking your husband. Um,
Right.
so a lot of times, divorce attorneys with their brains on will say, if you have a mistress, I don't want to know about it. Furthermore, you don't want to leave any traces of that. So do not talk to them.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
the trouble that incurs there.
See,
Yeah,
so
man.
that makes sense as to why we read differently on that wavelength.
Yeah.
Because to me, if somebody is having an affair, the client can ask about that person, but don't bring a third party into it.
Right.
Because this third party is nothing to do with the mistress.
Right.
And that's where I draw my line.
Mm-hmm. Well, and see, here on my side of it, if something is affecting the relationship, what I mean by that is, let's say they're having, that it's a poly relationship, a knowledgeable poly relationship.
Yeah.
Okay. Something that can happen in relationship A will affect relationship B.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
have no problem reading the cross lines there of, yeah, they're having issues, or they're not having issues, or there's this other thing going on over here that you need to be paying attention to. For that. From
And
my
that's
viewpoint, it's one equals the other.
and that's the other thing. Over here, we don't have a lot of polyamorous relationships.
Uh-huh. You
When
do.
somebody, believe it or not, we don't.
Well, you do. They're just not classified as that.
I
There's a lot of
think,
don't ask, don't tells going on. There's a lot of relationships that are, what's the way, I have a wife, I have a mistress, and I also, that type of thing going on. But neither one of them know about each other. That's don't ask, don't tell.
now over here, that's called an affair. That's not called polyamorous.
Right, but it is the same.
We agree to disagree on that one.
Yes, we agree to disagree. So yeah, if you want to talk about your partner's other partner, I don't have a problem reading on that. But getting into the intimate details of that relationship, that's a problem for me. Like, I
Like
don't want
when I'm asked, are they having sex? Are they arguing? That's their relationship. You were not involved in it, so I'm not giving you the information.
exactly. On that note, I agree. And please don't ask me that. I don't want to see that. Like, as a clairvoyant, I really don't want to see that.
No, no, because we have visions, and when we get those visions, they stick.
Yeah. Again, let's not. Um, and I think that a lot of people get confused on that of like, yeah, we can see that. We don't want to see that, please. Let's discuss what really matters, because physical contact, unless we're busting a cheater, it's like, really?
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, what aggravates me is when you already know the damn answer. Like, you know the answer.
I think as well they come to us for more clarity than anything else.
Right. And I
I think
get
that's
the more clarity side of it, but when they already know the answer, look,
yeah,
what's going on with this?
yeah.
You know the answer. Why are you asking me to tell you something you already know? Like, what's my middle name? You already know your middle name. Did you forget it?
Yeah.
Like, if
Yeah.
not, if so, go check your birth certificate.
I always say I'm not here to be tested. If you expect a proper reading, you treat me with respect,
Right,
or I'm not going to read for you.
right, exactly. And
And
it's like,
it's really weird. My views are perhaps old-fashioned,
okay,
but then because I was taught by an old-fashioned reader,
mm-hmm,
that's how I work. If you get what
makes
I
sense.
mean, like a lot of the way the modern readers read, I don't agree with.
Okay,
But then again, that comes down to different views.
exactly. And it comes down to different viewpoints. It's like, I also don't do the guilt thing that a lot of the new readers do.
I don't believe in making somebody feel guilty
Yeah.
for
Or
the
judging them,
simple
not my deal.
people judge quite a lot.
They do. And that gets on my last nerves. Like, you should not let your personal views affect
No,
the reading.
no. And as far as like them making people feel guilty, so many people come to us for help
Mm-hmm.
because I don't like saying this, but how many clients suffer with mental health issues?
Well,
By
I mean,
making that person feel guilty, there's nothing to say that person isn't going to go away and do something to themselves.
right. But, what I'm talking about, or where I'm headed to with this, is there are, do you know how many times, you know, here's an example. I'll go get a reading from a reader, and, they have a very conservative, let's say religious conservative view of like gayness or of polyamory or anything else, and they will put that into that reading so much. It's like,
Yeah,
sorry, I don't go to church. I don't need to go to
yeah,
church. I don't want to go to church. I'm not paying you to go to church.
yeah. And like for myself, and please don't take this the wrong way, you know we say things to each other all the time.
Yes.
You taught me a lot about polyamorous reading
Hmm.
because that's something I had never come across as a
Right.
reader.
Right.
And like you explained to me how to distinguish each person.
Yeah.
For me, that was a massive help,
Yeah.
but for somebody else, they'd be like, no, I'm not interested. No matter what religion you are, as a
Right.
reader, you have to put that religion to the back of your mind from the time you sign on that computer.
Right. And you have to take your own judgments to the side.
Yes,
You know,
yes,
and this
definitely.
includes even the basic norm. Like, if you wouldn't date a guy that has alcoholical tendencies, it doesn't mean that your client isn't dating a guy that has alcoholic tendencies and can't make
Yeah,
that relationship work.
yeah,
Does
yeah,
it take strength? Does it take intelligence? Does it take you understanding the disease and addressing it? Yes.
yes. Do you know where to go for the right help? Do you need us to signpost you with those directions so that
Yeah.
you can understand what outside services are there to help you?
Yeah. You
You
know,
know, and that's the weird thing. Some of the newer readers don't look at things like we do,
they don't. They
but
make
perhaps,
judgment calls, and it's like, not your department. It's like when client comes to me and goes, "Should I keep dating him?" I don't know. Do you
yeah,
want to keep dating him?
yeah,
If you keep dating him, then you're going to have to deal with someone, XYZ.
yeah. Do
Example,
you?
we won't use alcoholism, we'll use workaholism.
Yeah,
Do you want to deal with someone that is not going to be there on holidays because he's working? His work
yeah.
is always going to come first, his life is always going to come first. You
I'm
know,
going to throw a spanner in the works. Do you think that comes down to we've lived life a bit more?
no. I think it comes down to we have learned a long time ago that we
Yeah,
cannot rule our clients.
yeah,
You can sit there and think this dude is fucking worthless.
yeah.
Like,
So
he sits on the couch all day long. She is going to have to work two jobs and raise the children, but she's in love with him.
perhaps it comes down to experience, whereas we know how to address a situation,
Hmm.
whereas perhaps they don't.
Right. Well, that, and we've learned, how many abusive women have you talked to over and over?
Yeah.
and over again.
Yeah.
And they don't leave it.
I remember doing a reading for a client on one of our partner sites.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think we looked at this site a few weeks ago. Yes, we do our own research into other sites as well. When I was reading for that site, I had a lady, she was texting me off the top of a bridge.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, what are you doing? She was like, I'm going to jump. I was like, why? That water's cold.
Mm-hmm.
And she was like, but there's no end. I was like, but there is. And we stayed on the line for about 2 hours.
Mm-hmm.
But in that process, I had got on to the management and said, look, this lady's in crisis. She needs help. I'll try and keep her on the phone. Can you credit her account so
Mm-hmm.
that I know she's not going to do damage to herself?
All right.
And in the end, the police came and got her down.
All right. But that
But
takes a lot of interaction. That takes an active management system.
yeah,
And a lot of places do not have active management systems.
I agree. And as well, active management systems only work if we're in the same time zone.
Yeah. Well, not even that. Like, I remember, sit down, grandchildren, take a seat. Let Poppy talk to you. I remember when we could ring up our management, no matter what the time, the day,
Yeah,
whatever, we was able to ring an ops, and they were answering the phone.
yeah, yeah,
This was ages ago.
yeah. That was when there was people skills about.
Well, I don't know. Let me see, because I rarely delete numbers. I'm just wondering, do I still? I do. I still have all three managers programmed into my cell phone, their home number and their, at that time, cell phone number. Like,
See,
beep, beep, I got a problem.
yeah, you couldn't do that now.
No, not at all. Not at all. Like, we are really, truly independent. And here's the thing, this is something that people don't get a lot, is your psychics do other things.
Yeah,
We go to the gym, we go swimming, we ground, we go and take classes,
yeah.
we have to go grocery shopping, we're in Walmart, you know.
I had a message. What day are we on now? We're on Monday. Would have been Friday night, my 3 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
Why ain't you online? I need you. Get online.
Mm-hmm.
She had such a stinking email back when I got up.
Uh-huh.
I sleep, I eat, I shower, I bath, I go shopping. I'm a human the same as you are. I need
Yeah.
sleep. So in future, remember that.
Well, exactly. Like, I think that, and the other thing is, I hate when these paint spirit guides as floating around on clouds and like
Yeah,
with wings or whatever. One, they're not angels. Two, most angels, unless they're seraphims, don't have wings. They just kind of float whenever they want.
yeah, yeah,
But the other part of that they have a personality like, I'm sure Kathy is like David. She has a personality probably that matches yours, but it's like, no.
yeah. If I've got to the point where I need a break and I'm not taking that break, Kathy will shut my internet off.
Oh. So I got a story for you. And I wonder if this has happened to you. So I take off today. I had to go and buy petrol. Also, me and the Invisible was going out. But the car needed some petrol, so we stopped to get petrol. And I look in the car, and well, it's not in the car. And check my purse, not in the purse. Check the gym bag, not in the gym bag. Do you want to guess where the wallet was?
Under your seat?
Nope.
Go on.
On top of the car, on the roof. Cold as ice. Honey, it is 85 degrees here. Let me give that to you in terms you understand. It is 29.44 degrees Celsius. My wallet could have been used for an ice chest.
See, I'm a great believer that things happen for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
I really am.
I'm a great believer in, I don't know how it got there. I don't remember putting my wallet on top of the car. I'm not going to debate the issue. I'm just going to
Yeah.
accept it and go, okay, that's cute. Can you fill it with money next time?
Yeah. And that's the thing, when our guides want us to do something, they will make us do it.
Yeah.
One way or the other, they will make us do it.
Yeah. And, we got about 20 minutes left. Let's talk about something you don't hear a lot of people talk about. You hear us talk about the clients and how we get to help them. You hear us talk about some of the fun experiences we get to have, like this podcast. You hear us talk about being tired, but there are some things that I've noticed that occurs in psychics. Okay. Normally, most psychics have an immune disorder of some sort. RA, thyroid. There's an immune
Do you know
disorder.
what?
What?
I have to have B12 injections.
Okay.
I used to be every 12 weeks.
Uh-huh.
That's, how can I put it? That should be the time. That's the prescribed time. I have them through the doctor.
Mm-hmm.
I now have to have them every 8 weeks and take medication to go by the side of them because my body will not accept that B12.
How are you with bee stings?
Do you know what? Bee stings I haven't had for years, but I get bitten by gnats and mosquitoes.
Mm-hmm.
I went outside earlier with Sean to put the cover on the pool. We were out there a maximum of 5 minutes. I've
Mm-hmm.
come in and I've got 12 bites on my legs.
Yeah, you need to eat some garlic.
I eat garlic every day. So,
Really?
out come the Claritin,
Uh-huh.
out come that cream, and out
Uh-huh.
come that cream.
Yep.
And that's just being
That's
out for 5 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
So I agree with you there.
Yeah.
Definitely.
It's like most mediums have to be very careful because they have a tendency to be alcoholics.
Yeah.
In a heartbeat.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, I remember old mediums that used to, they drink water all day, do readings, big gallery readings, like 150 people in there. As soon as that was over, it was time for the beer and the whiskey.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I find that as people progress within their psychic abilities, the less the body likes it.
I think as well, people don't realize people struggle with things like that because we take a hell of a lot on ourselves.
We do.
Somebody will come to me and say, "You read for me last week," and they think I'm really rude when I say, "I won't remember," because soon as I've done a reading, I come straight from those energies.
Right. It's gone. I love clients to realize this. Yes, I understand that, we may have talked 2 hours ago.
Yeah.
Hi, this is Brenda. We were talking about Jeff, and I just wanted to call and let you know that he called. Great. Did you have a good conversation with him? David, who the hell is Jeff, and what the hell are we talking about?
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. Let me go look at the stack of files I got to return. Maybe we can find it there. We need the name and birth date every time.
Yeah. Another thing is, I think a lot of the companies out there, this might be a bit controversial.
Oh, we'll see about controversial. Ain't got tired yet.
Don't think about the readers' well-beings.
Well, that's because they don't understand us. Okay.
We are lucky. We offload onto each other if we need to.
Hmm.
So many other readers haven't got that privilege.
Well, a lot of them don't. A lot of them have developed statistics and ways to do that. However, here's the problem, and this is the problem in all of it. Since probably, well, what is probably Psychic Friends Network was the last time with Dionne Warwick. Yes, yes, I'm dating myself. That there were psychics on the board table, psychics in the marketing meetings, psychics in the technology meetings, psychics doing the project managing, psychics as a manager. There's a famous Betty Davis interview where she says, "Oh, the studios now they're owned by oil companies, they're owned by gas companies, they're owned by foreigners. Nobody that really knows the business.
Yeah.
There's not a platform out there that's owned by a working psychic."
No. No. No.
Ingenio is fabulous. They take us into consideration. They'll bring stuff to us to look at, and it's like, yeah, I don't think so. Go back, try again, Jack. But no, there's no company. There should be on any board, any committee, they should be required to have a psychic. They look at this and go, you know what I really need is I need that text 2% bigger. Just 2% bigger. Or, you know what I really need is for that to be louder. Like, you guys have got that muffled.
And
We need
that's
it
the thing.
way to dad.
I suppose when we are experienced psychics,
Mm-hmm.
we can look at something straight away as we've been called into meetings together to get our views, and it's like, no, it's not going to work. Forget about it.
Or, yeah, that'll work. I'm not normally a forget about it person. I can normally see the benefit, but it needs tweaked. Like, every time I look at something, it needs tweaked.
But then they never take our advice on tweaking things.
Well, we've made some waves on some places. We've got some excellent managers that have made some things different. Like, just last week I'm quite sure we got cussed by fellow people.
Yeah. But I don't care about that. I care about the clients.
Exactly.
Clients
Come
right
first.
This is going to sound strange. Without clients, we haven't got a job. Clients are our priority over anybody else.
Right.
Because I don't see us as psychics as such, because I don't use that word while I'm working, because the client knows what we are.
Right.
I would say we're more customer service. Because over here, we have to fill forms in every year.
Yeah.
A psychic isn't seen as a profession over here.
But it's elaborated as a profession.
When I fill any forms in, I've got to fill it in as customer service advisor.
Yeah, here we're a consultant fee company, but we still have, like, there are limits, there are rules that we have to follow, and some of them aren't like personal rules. There's company rules, like you are not allowed to predict pregnancy.
No.
Hell, our profession has been predicting pregnancy since the beginning. But government says, oh, you can't do that, you're not a doctor. Nope, not a doctor. Not interested in being a doctor. Would be paid better than if I was a doctor. I have a doctor in religious sciences. That won't help us at all. But doctor of divinity, that won't help.
But then clients will log off and then come back on and ask the same question but with different words.
Yeah. And it's like, will you stop this game?
Yeah.
Listen to what I've told you 12 times now.
Yeah.
And go do it.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
It's your turn this week.
Yeah.
But it's hard for us because we can't do that reading, but we don't particularly like saying no to the client either.
Well, I don't say no to the client. I will give them what I'm allowed to give. But I will quote back, per company policy, I can't tell you this.
Yeah.
Per company, and I get tired of it. Per blank company's policy in terms of service, I can't do this.
Yeah. Now, I use the words due to our terms and conditions because that's what people over here understand better rather than policies.
You're right. Well, it is terms and conditions because, it's that checkbox they check when they create a profile.
Yeah.
So you're more accurate. But, I had to go in and, because I have the book definition for cards.
Yeah.
Book.
Yeah.
Straight from Rider and White's little pen as they wrote it out, definitions. I had to go in and edit them and take those parts out.
Yeah.
Okay. So it is what it is. It is life. Is there things that we don't like to talk about? There's things that we see that we don't like to talk about.
Yeah.
Like, I don't like saying, you've repeated this lesson 4 times. Do you need a house to fall on you?
Yeah.
And the other thing is, I don't like playing monkey in the middle. What I mean by that, don't fight with me. Go fight with him. I'm on your side to begin with.
My pet hate is when a client comes to you, you give them the reading and they say, well, another reader told me, I'm not another reader. I am me. I will not comment on what another reader says.
Oh, I will. I will say I do not agree. And that's all I will say is I do not agree. If you want to listen to them, please go read with them.
I always say it's not professional of me to comment on what another reader says.
Right.
Because our clients got a thing where they jump from reader to reader.
Looking for one to match the vision. And it's like, I can't match that vision. I can match the vision I see.
Or when a client comes to you and says, I'm really confused. How many readings have you had with different people? I'm like, you stick to 2 or 3 readers that you trust.
Right. Now, I will level out. There are a few instances when I've been working with a client. And when I'm talking about working with a client, I'm not talking spelling them or teaching them how to meditate. I'm talking really deep, heavy working with them.
Yeah.
And I'll take a day off. Or I'll take a day where I go and do a live event.
Yeah.
Okay? And and it may be 6-9 months I've been working on those clients' self-worth, their value, getting them ready, for them to make the choice to get rid of this fucker. And I'm like, we're almost there. We're almost there. Like, I can see their hand on the door. And I come back. And they've had 15 readings. And all 15 readers have said that he is the love of their life.
Yeah.
And if you leave them, you will never find love again. Okay. So let's step off of the psychic bridge for a moment and step into the real life view.
There is somebody out there for everyone.
Well, there's not only just one person out there for everyone. There are options throughout it's like driving down the road. You can go 100 directions.
Yeah.
With your choices.
Yeah.
I do not like making choices for my clients. That's
The other thing we have to deal with as well is somebody's low self-esteem.
Yes.
We have to slowly build their esteem up for them to get to that stage where they know what life path they're going to take.
Right. I mean, because they've made contracts and that's all fine, well, and good. You can go and learn humanity in 100 different damn directions.
Yeah. Yeah.
You can learn, the lesson of love in many different ways.
Yeah.
You just got to stop being stuck.
I struggle, and I'm going to put my hands up here and I say, I'll struggle when somebody says to me he loves his kids more than he loves me.
Yes.
I'm like, his kids will always be his priority. The
Right.
love he has for his children is totally different to the love he has for you.
Yeah.
But people can't understand that at the same time. They're
Well,
two separate loves.
exactly. And it's like, man loses job. Okay? Man loses his job and he suddenly disappears. There's a reason for that.
Yeah.
What was the first comment he ever made to you?
Yeah.
Hi, my name is, and hi, my name is Bob, and I sell propane and propane accessories.
Yeah.
Okay? That man loses his job. It's not that he doesn't love you. He's just not going to date you and be sitting on the couch doing
No.
nothing, eating up
And
your savings.
I think that's what people fail to understand is when something like that happens in somebody's life, it knocks them 10 paces back.
It does.
They feel
Especially,
they've failed.
right, especially in our generation,
Yes.
when men were programmed to be the providers.
Yeah.
They go to school to become something. They are taught they have to have, money to sustain a wife, to keep a wife happy, to do whatever. They have to be able to be the provider.
Yeah.
And then they're
A lot,
not.
a lot of people are shocked when they say to me, do you work? Yeah, I work. You're a single parent, but I own my own company. Why
Yeah,
shouldn't
I'm
I
a
do that?
CEO.
Why shouldn't I do that?
Yeah,
I got my car. Did you get your car on finance? No, I paid cash because I saved for it.
yeah.
And
And they're blown
when
away.
yeah, because I work my bum off constantly to
Mm-hmm.
make sure that my kids don't go without.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to say it's been easy because it hasn't by any means.
Never is.
But it shouldn't matter if you're male or female. You can do it. And that's what it's about.
Right. But the other department on its side is men are programmed, especially in the United States,
Yeah.
to be the Brene Brown has a story where she had only studied females. She only wrote about females. She only, you know, published information on female shame and
Yeah.
the Anjou complex and all that. So she is at this conference doing a speech and signing books, and a guy walks up and goes, "Really like what your books are about." And she goes, "Thank you." And he goes, "So when are you going to write about men?" And she goes, "I don't study men." And he goes, "Well, isn't that convenient? Because the books you just signed here for that wife and that daughter over there of mine, they'd rather see me die. They'd rather see me die on my white horse than to come to
Yeah.
you in tears."
Yeah.
And that's the truth. And that's when she started looking at males and the emotions and the shame that's presented in males.
Perhaps one week we should talk about role reversals.
Well, see, that gets even more complicated. Like, okay, that research stuff was probably about 10, 15 years ago. Okay, it's gotten even more complicated now because we have women that are that are walking around in more masculine energy than any man I've ever
Yeah.
seen.
Yeah.
Okay. And cis women that are like, I will die before I ask the man for help.
Do you know what? That word cyst really grates on me
Okay.
because a woman is a woman. There shouldn't be any. The cyst to me is a real woman.
Right.
To me, any woman that brings herself up to do what she needs to do in life is a real woman.
Right.
Because there's no such thing as a cis man.
Yes, there is.
Now, I didn't know there was.
Yes. There's cis men, cis women, transgendered man, transgendered woman. Those are the new terms. I know when we grew up, you presented as woman, you are a woman.
Yeah.
You presented as man, you're a man. But now we have to clarify those terms because there's, one is to honor the, the transitional phases that, transgenders go through. But it's also, to make it very clear that we're not talking about transitional, male to female. We're talking that still carry in that masculine programming
Yeah.
from children. We're talking about, cis female presenting cis female that have more male programming than any male I've ever seen. How dare you think I'm going to fail?
But then when you look at it,
Mm-hmm.
in the LGBT letter, because they keep adding letters on,
Uh-huh.
you've got drag queens, which are multimillionaires.
Yes.
You had Paul O'Grady, there was a multimillionaire.
Mm-hmm.
You've got so many people that have changed sexes,
Mm-hmm.
that have done the transition.
But you know what's interesting with that? They always read as their natural gender. What I
Yes.
mean by that is
Yeah.
if you are a male transitioning to female, you will read as female.
Yeah.
Don't care
Yeah.
where you're at in that process. If you just discovered it, came to the comfortable decision to begin transitioning, you will read as female.
Yeah.
And if you are female transferring to male, you will read as male.
Yeah.
However, there's been a few times I've read somebody and it's like, okay, so you see you're cis female, but you got more masculine energy
Yeah.
than the football player I just read that's juicing.
Yeah. But then I'm going to throw a cat amongst the pigeons now,
There's always a cat in the pigeons.
especially with me.
Uh-huh.
Over here, we've got a massive thing going on at the moment, trying to bring women into men's roles. We have so many female carpenters, plumbers, and builders. So then they are going to come across as very strong masculine energies because they got that very strong will to fight all those men to get where they want to be within the working network.
Right, but they're still going to have that feminine side to them. And we'll have to delve into this another time about energy versus presentation.
Yeah.
But I've always found it highly interesting and never acknowledged it. But there, because I'm sorry, it annoys me that you have to clarify yourself.
Yeah.
When you've completed your task. So for celebration, great. To come for a reading from me, if you're living feminine energy, then you're feminine. Leave it at that. I don't need to know the backstory. You need to be acknowledged for who you truly are on a spiritual level.
That's why I don't read the past, because we can't change the past.
No, but sometimes it's helpful to know the information there so you can see the path where it got to, if that makes sense.
It do, but for me, I always think you can't change the past, but you can dictate your own future.
Exactly. All right, guys. So when are you on this week? Did you change your schedule?
I'm off tomorrow morning as I've got an appointment,
Okay.
but I'll be back by lunchtime, so I'll be working right through. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
working right through every day this week.
Awesome. So I will not be in the office Wednesday at all.
Good.
And
You're
then
sticking to your day
Friday
off.
afternoon I have appointment. Huh?
You're sticking to your day off. That's good to see.
Sticking to my day off. I've got 63 hours and technically I have 2 days off.
Enjoy them.
Well, one, I have to go to the dang doctor, so I'm not going to enjoy being the science experiment. And then the other one, I have to go to my day off. And when it's my day off, you cannot reach me except by carrier pigeon. Like, we have scoped out and found places that there is no cell phone service.
But that's a good thing.
Yes. Yes.
That is a good thing because you need that break as well.
Well, I need it and Joseph needs it. Because
Yes.
he's worser than I am. Like, he wakes
Yes.
up with his cell phone in his hand.
Well, I think I'll probably be working all weekend because, as you know, I live close to Sandringham and
Uh-huh.
they've got 4 massive concerts there over the weekend
Oh, Lordy. You
because
ain't
it's
going
bank
nowhere.
holiday weekend.
Yeah.
Sorry?
You ain't going nowhere.
So I ain't going nowhere by the looks of it.
Yeah.
So then
You know.
I'll make up for that next week.
Yep. You got to rebalance.
Yes.
Yep. All right, guys. We hope you've enjoyed this show. Next week, we're talking about.
Next week, we were going to talk about the follow on from this week,
Uh-huh.
but we've covered that. And on my calendar, I haven't got nothing. So next week, we could talk about the difference in energies.
Let's do that.
Oh, where are we? That will be the 28th.
Awesome.
You'll have to message me with what date you're off in September.
I will. I will. We're not there yet.
And like I said, I'll have one day off in November
Uh-huh.
because it's my birthday on the Saturday and it's a big one. So I don't know if the celebrations are going to run over.
Oh, as big as it is, I'd take a month. All right. We'll see you in a little bit, guys. Bye, y'all.
Bye.